Hey friends, I'm sure you're familiar with one of Jesus' disciples named Peter. His given name was Simon, but Jesus changed his name to Peter, which means rock. Simon Peter was very passionate and outspoken about his love for Jesus. But after Jesus was arrested, he denied Jesus 3 times. Can you imagine the depth of despair and shame Peter must have felt after denying his Lord? After Jesus died on the cross and rose again, he appeared to his disciples a few times. John 21 describes the time Jesus prepared breakfast for some of the disciples on the beach when they'd been fishing. After they'd eaten, Jesus asked Simon Peter 3 times if he loved him. Peter replied each time, "Yes, Lord, you know I love you." And each time, Jesus' response was to feed or care for his lambs and sheep. I want to look at some interesting points about this interaction between Jesus and Simon Peter. First, when Jesus asks the question each time, he calls him Simon, son of John. Jesus doesn't call him Peter at this point. Perhaps that's because when Simon Peter denied Jesus, he wasn't exhibiting his new nature as a rock. He had allowed fear to make him shrink back from who God had called him to be. Also, before Jesus died, Peter denied Jesus in public 3 times. Now, Jesus asked Simon Peter 3 times if he loves him publicly in front of the other disciples. Jesus didn't point out Simon's denial, his sin. He pointed to his love for Jesus, causing Simon to examine his heart. Jesus was lifting him out of his shame and restoring his relationship with him. And when Jesus asked Simon if he loved him, the first 2 times Jesus used the Greek word agape, which means unconditional, unselfish love. But each time Simon responded, "You know I love you." But the word Simon used was phileo, which is a friendship type of love. But the 3rd time, Jesus also used the word phileo love. And again, Simon responded the same way. I believe that Jesus was inviting Simon Peter into a loving relationship with him based on agape love. But at that point, Peter didn't have it in him to love Jesus in that way. All he had was phileo love. So Jesus accepted him where he was at. He invited Peter into agape love, but met him at phileo love. I am sure that as Peter responded with the phileo level of love that he had and cared for Jesus' sheep, his love for Jesus grew into an agape type of love. We're all at different levels in our love relationship with Jesus. We can be assured that he meets us where we're at, but he's also calling us into a more intimate relationship with him. No matter what our level of love for God is, it should always be expressed by caring for God's people. And as we interact with others, we can accept them at whatever level they're at in their relationship with God and encourage them to grow deeper in their love for God.